First of all, though, understanding better what cluttering is. There are many misconceptions about cluttering. People think that it's just talking too fast or that it's just not being clear. And the problem is that that leads to misconceptions about what people who clutter need to do. There's this assumption that if they just tried a little harder, if all they have to do is slow down a little bit, except when people make those kinds of statements, they're not understanding the fact that cluttering is an actual difference in how people's brains function. It's not a simple matter of trying harder or doing this differently or talking this way. It's hard to make those changes. They're not simple. And so all of that leads to misconceptions. The number one thing that people could do then to support people who clutter is to understand the true nature of cluttering. Not dismiss it, not cast it aside, say, oh, they're just not trying hard enough, but understand it. But because I can't just offer one thing, probably the second thing is to be sure to listen to people who clutter. They can express themselves. They are expressing themselves. But often we fail to be able to listen in a way that is compatible with the way they speak. We shouldn't automatically assume that they need to speak in a way that's compatible with how we listen. We have a responsibility too, as listeners, just as we would in any conversation.
An event like this World Conference is the ideal platform to spread the awareness because we can reach all the stakeholders, like researchers, clinicians, speech-language pathologists, therapists, the parents. I've spoken to a parent of a child who clutters who is here, the people with cluttering themselves. We are all here together. So that is a great starting point to spread the awareness. But then I also feel it is still so important to spread the awareness amongst speech-language pathologists or speech-language therapists because it still very often happens that it's being misdiagnosed, and very often the articulation part and the fluency part are being treated. However, the whole picture is somehow being missed. The whole part is often being missed, and by helping spread awareness amongst our own profession, we will be able to help the families and the people with cluttering better. And then very personal to me, what I feel also is important are to reach the teachers, because after all, they spend the whole day with our children, and I sometimes have teachers who tell me something is not right with the speech of that child, but I'm not 100% sure what is going on or how to help them. So spreading awareness amongst this group of people would be also very helpful. I actually inform teachers and help them find some strategies how to then help the students, for example, with this interactive listening. With teenagers, I feel it's very important to help the environment and train them how to, for example, help the kids to develop confidence in their own speaking abilities. But also very often in that group, I experience that they're saying, there's nothing wrong with me, nothing wrong with my speech, I don't need to do anything. And I then try not to really push and say, hey, but you need now to do this drill, because that won't work. I will maybe work more on, you're right, and sometimes your listener may not understand you. So we are working more towards how can I realize if somebody didn't understand me and what I then can do to repair that communication breakdown.
Logopeda, który specjalizuje się w giełkocie i w ogóle w niepłynności mowy, powinien przede wszystkim być bardzo refleksyjny, ale też podążający za swoim pacjentem. To podążanie za pacjentem powoduje, że cały czas chce się szkolić, doskonalić, zdobywać wiedzę, która upewnia go w tym, że nie ma jednej idealnej metody, która byłaby dla każdego. I myślę, że taka empatia, akceptowanie swojego klienta to jest coś, co jest kluczowe, ponieważ kiedy on będzie się czuł z nami dobrze, no, ta współpraca będzie szła w dobrym kierunku. I myślę sobie, że to jest właśnie klucz do sukcesu, kiedy myślimy o byciu logopedą, który specjalizuje się w tej dziedzinie.
Joined this conference firstly because I think cluttering is, in comparison to stuttering, neglected in Germany, and I want to learn as much as I can to take all the knowledge what there is right now to Germany and to spread it and to share with my colleagues.
Na Uniwersytecie Śląskim w Katowicach od ponad dekady badamy postawy wobec różnych odmienności w płynnym mówieniu, wobec jąkania początkowo, ale od kilku lat także wobec giełkotu. Co więcej, zajmujemy się nie tylko badaniem postaw, ale również zmienianiem tych postaw. I to jest duża część naszej działalności badawczej, ponieważ podejmujemy działania eksperymentalne w zakresie jąkania, jak i giełkotu. I te eksperymenty naprawdę przynoszą nam obiecujące wyniki. Nie dalej jak wczoraj na trzeciej światowej konferencji na temat giełkotu prezentowałyśmy te wyniki. Dzieliłyśmy się z naszym audytorium informacją o tym, że postawy da się zmieniać, że te zmiany mogą być znaczące i że nawet stosunkowo krótkie interwencje obejmujące zaledwie wykład teoretyczny mogą przynosić pewną zmianę. Po badaniu, które wdrożyliśmy w tym roku wspólnie z kolegami z Uniwersytetu Monachijskiego, wiemy już, że zdecydowanie bardziej korzystne wyniki dają takie formy interwencji skierowanej na zmianę postaw, które pozwolą na skonfrontowanie uczestników eksperymentu z osobą z giełkotem. Poznanie tego, co ta osoba czuje, co przeżywa, jak giełkot wpływa na jej życie. To jest przyszłość. My tu na Śląskim nie zatrzymujemy się. Działamy w bardzo sprzyjającej atmosferze. Dzięki władzom uniwersytetu możemy organizować tak wspaniałe wydarzenia jak ta konferencja. Zgromadziliśmy 16 krajów, zgromadziliśmy najwybitniejsze postaci ze świata giełkotu i jąkania. Mamy warsztaty, mamy mini-seminaria i mamy też wykłady teoretyczne, krótkie wykłady, doniesienia z badań, więc tu się bardzo dużo dzieje. My, nasza śląska społeczność, możemy pochwalić się naszymi badaniami. Moi młodsi koledzy prezentują badania sondażowe, prezentują case studies. Mamy niezwykle bogatą sesję posterową, więc tak, tu na Uniwersytecie Śląskim prowadzi się badania i te badania są bardzo ciekawe i prowadzimy je również we współpracy z innymi ośrodkami. Wcześniej z Uniwersytetem Łódzkim, Rzeszowskim, w tym roku z Uniwersytetem Monachijskim.
Dzisiejsza konferencja pokazuje, jak ważne jest, aby mówić o tym, czym jest giełkot. Kiedy przygotowywaliśmy tę konferencję, bardzo często padało pytanie, ale właściwie o czym będzie, czego dotyczy? Słowo jest obecne, ale nie jest aż tak rozpoznawalne, nawet w środowisku logopedycznym. Jakie pytanie dotyczące tego, jak rozszerzać tę świadomość, jest bardzo ważnym pytaniem, bo wydaje mi się, że właśnie od tego trzeba zacząć, żebyśmy wiedzieli, tak, czym jest, bo wtedy możemy pomagać. I na pewno szkoła jest takim miejscem, w którym trzeba mówić o tym, czym jest giełkot. Na pewno środowisko nauczycieli, bo oni stykają się z młodzieżą, dziećmi, a oni mogą najwięcej pomóc. Na pewno też rodzice, którzy często nie w swojej ogromnej miłości do dzieci, tak, chcą jak najbardziej im pomagać, ale czasami wygląda to, podszyte jest to pewnym strachem, że dziecko będzie się odróżniało, że będzie miało kłopoty komunikacyjne, że nie będzie funkcjonowało dobrze w środowisku rówieśników. I ten lęk możemy właśnie poprzez rozbudzanie tej świadomości dotyczącej giełkotu, możemy go niwelować. Ale także osoby, które borykają się z trudnościami komunikacyjnymi, uświadomienie im, że inni też tak mają, że giełkot jest czymś, co nie jest tylko indywidualną sytuacją, która spotkała daną osobę. To jest też bardzo ważne, żeby te osoby poczuły, że są w pewnej grupie i żeby też miały taką świadomość, że być może wcale nie potrzeba ich leczyć, tylko bardziej My powinniśmy nad sobą pracować, żeby zaakceptować pewną różnorodność komunikacyjną i nauczyć się słuchać tych, którzy mówią trochę inaczej niż my.
Technology is now being used more and more within speech therapy, and now we have this great tool of virtual reality, where we can put individuals, such as individuals who clutter, inside a virtual speaking situation, and they can practice speaking to other people, seeing how these other people react, and seeing how they feel about this, and work towards their goals, however it might be. But there's also now lots of artificial intelligence which is going around. So we can also use artificial intelligence, such as ChatGPT, to be able to steer our conversations in more of a natural way. So you can also do this inside virtual reality and create questions based on certain topics using artificial intelligence. So this is just the start of this huge technology kind of field that's moving, and it's really, really exciting to see where this will go in the future. And also inside virtual reality, we can practice speaking with avatars. So we can practice speaking with avatars that look like us, that look like our boss, that look like our teacher, or someone else that we want to practice speaking with. And we can choose the language that the avatar will speak and their voice. We can also choose the pitch and the rate of this avatar's voice. So we can make them have a low pitch, we can make them have a high pitch, we could make them speak slowly or speak fast. And with this, we can see how different speeds of speech also sound when we are speaking with other individuals. So there are just so many things that you can do inside VR, and you can change the facial expressions of the avatars, make them look shocked, frown, disgusted, make it look like they don't really understand. And I think this is just a huge field. So this can be used in speech therapy with people who clutter, within research for cluttering too.
You had a mentor in Norway, Alf Preuss. He was collaborating with DC Wise, and in many ways Norway has been very much privileged, because cluttering has been a professional field for many years. It has been recognized. We have been working with it. SLTs are having it in their education. When people are talking about the orphan cluttering, in Norway I think that cluttering is the sister of the brother stuttering. And it has been like that for many years. But the critical part of it was that for SLTs it was well known. We knew about cluttering. We are teaching about it. But the public or the general population, if we go back to the 60s, nobody knew about cluttering. But it was Alf Preuss, our mentor, or previous mentor. He died in 2006. He was kind of importing it to Norway. And then, in the starting point, the SLTs were aware, but I think there were a paradigm shift in 2007. Then, when the first World Congress was arranged in Bulgaria, we were some Norwegian SLPs. We were participating. We were involved in the discussion, in the dialogue. And I think that after the ICA was established as an organization, I think also in Norway we have done much work to make cluttering more known, also in the public. And I think that we have succeeded pretty well in many ways. So I think that we were also collaborating with people who clutter. And I think that is a very important part, that also within research, within clinical practice, we need to I think the first person perspective is so important. And I see that also in Norway, we actually changed the Norwegian, the Stuttering Association to the Norwegian Association for Stuttering and Cluttering. So we included it in the name, and then people were like reading in the home pages, oh, stuttering, I know what that is, but what is cluttering? So we had so many chances to integrate the word cluttering in so many ways, in social media and also in newspapers, because there were many people, me as SLT, and other colleagues, but also people who clutter, were willing to be in the media, talking about how is it to live with cluttering. That's much about Norway, but I think for me, I feel so grateful that after the ICA, after the first World Conference, we had really a great opportunity to collaborate globally. So it gives us energy, and it gave us so much to dialogue with other people from other countries. And I think that also I was joining the second World Conference in Eindhoven, but also I was so privileged to make it to come to this conference, because I think the third World Conference here in Katowice, it's really, I know the people. I am lucky that I know you, and you are so hardworking, you are so dedicated, and you are so much, what should I say? I feel that I am in the family. We are in a family. And I think you're giving space for making cluttering even more known. And I think the most important part is that people who clutter, I think to walk around, to know that they are challenging, they are having challenges with communication, but they don't know that it is a specific challenge. I think that's sometimes the worst part of it. But when they know that there is a specific, also disorder, sometimes we need to say that it's specifically cluttering. We call it løpsk tale, like running speech in Norway. So the running speech, I think that when they know about it, they are relieved. They know that they are not so different. It's part of being a human being. And I think it helps a lot to just continue increasing information awareness, because people who clutter, they need it. They need to have a better life. They need to handle the communication even better. Yeah.
I think it's most important for other people, so people like parents, for example, or employers, so at least people who don't clutter or don't stutter, to know about cluttering, that it's much more like a multifaceted disorder. So it's not only about speech per se, it's actually, well, perhaps even more about language planning, so because of the true fast speed, of course, people are just not able to handle that basically, and to encode their messages into a kind of fluent way. So basically, cluttering is a communication disorder, which also involves things like thinking, or like planning of language, or for example, you're behaving or moving with, so the physical appearance is also, most of the time, is also, suboptimal. So yeah, so that is, I think, it's really important for people to understand that, that there is much more to it. There are much more causes behind the only physical or audible output that people who clutter have. I'm very glad I'm here, of course, because it's a third world conference on cluttering. So so we are already moving ahead, I think, and it's such a nice place here in Katowice. There is so many knowledge sharing, and it's a vibrant, cross section of people from around the world. So I'm really happy to be here. And of course I hope that there will be many more conferences on cluttering. Maybe again in Katowice.
When we think about technology like virtual reality or computer games, I think those things can be really beneficial for some of our clients with cluttering. We can use those digital tools as important ways to excite them, to want to communicate. Sometimes when I work with some individuals, they might be apprehensive to communicate. They might want to say something, but maybe their thoughts force them to stay a bit quiet, and they don't want to be quiet. So what I've noticed from some of these digital technologies is when they get in front of the game or when they put on the virtual reality headset, they now are more comfortable and they're more willing to say, ooh, like they're playing a game, ah, or they're in a virtual reality experience, they say, whoa, ah. And those are the first foundations, perhaps, that maybe we can build on. And then those single sounds turned into words, then those words turn into sentences, and from there they can blossom and they can bloom as the great communicators we know they are. I believe this conference is so important because what it does, it is bringing people together from so many different locations to sit down shoulder to shoulder and have honest and open dialogue. And through that honest and open dialogue, we are truly growing as learners. We come here for the purpose of knowledge, and the knowledge is given to us in a very family-based way. We are sitting with each other, getting to know each other, and then from there, beautiful friendships are formed that exist well beyond this conference.
The most important thing that we have to do to improve awareness about cluttering is to give the right and the correct information to SLT. I think that this is the most important thing, because after the SLTs can involve teachers, parents, clients, and so we can connect everything and probably have a better awareness about cluttering. I come from Italy. We do not have a good level of awareness about cluttering, also SLTs. So I think that this is very important to do and is a priority for us. I was very happy to be here, and I try to take all the knowledge and distribute in my colleagues. And also I want to use some of this knowledge in my lecture and to SLT. And so I think that SLTs are the center of the problem and of the solution also. My first conference of ICA, and I am impressed because it's a very good occasion to learn. I learned so much, and yesterday Susan Cook said, family memories. I have family memories today, and it's wonderful. I think that the work was really hard, but the result is perfect. And I feel that I can do something for awareness about cluttering in my country after this experience. I feel that I'm different. And so thanks.
Myślę, że najważniejsze w Giełkocie i w wiedzy o Giełkocie jest to, żeby przede wszystkim zrozumieć, że jest to zaburzenie mowy. Mamy już chyba za sobą dyskusję, czy jest zaburzeniem, czy nie jest zaburzeniem, jest w klasyfikacjach i tę informację trzeba po prostu przyjąć i jakby za tą informacją podążać. Co nam to daje? Po pierwsze to, że jeśli mamy zaburzenie mowy, logopedzi jako specjaliści od zaburzeń mowy są w stanie pomóc klientom i pacjentom, w przypadku Giełkotu klientom, którzy mogą nie wiedzieć do końca, jakie są symptomy, albo mogą ich nie rozpoznawać do końca u siebie, albo mogą nie potrafić nazwać tych objawów, które w swojej mowie słyszą, ale będą w stanie poprosić o pomoc czasami, jeśli są odważni, czasami będą w stanie jej poszukać, a czasami będą mogli się też zastanowić, że może jednak warto sprawdzić, kto może mi pomóc, bo jeśli zaburzenie mowy, to logopeda. Druga ważna rzecz. Czasami osoby z Giełkotem mówią szybciej niż przeciętny człowiek, ale nie zawsze. To znaczy nie każde szybkie mówienie jest Giełkotem i nie zawsze Giełkot jest związany z szybkim mówieniem. I warto takie podejrzenie Giełkotu właśnie u specjalisty później zdiagnozować, żeby zweryfikować te myśli, które mamy jakby o swojej komunikacji. Czyli czy mam Giełkot, czy nie mam Giełkotu. Czy znam nazwę, czy rozpoznaję symptomy. A może znam nazwę, nie rozpoznaję wszystkich symptomów, a może nie wiem w ogóle, co to znaczy Giełkot. A może znam jakąś inną. A może ktoś mi musi dopiero powiedzieć, jak to się nazywa i może ktoś świetnie, jeśli będzie mnie prowadził i podpowiadał, w jaki sposób mogę dojść do komunikacji wystarczająco dobrej, optymalnej, takiej dla mnie, dla takiego człowieka, jakim jestem, żeby nie poddawać się takiej presji ogólnej, żeby nie dążyć do tak zwanego normalnego mówienia, tylko żeby to było moje mówienie, akceptowalne też społecznie, czyli żebyśmy spotkali się na granicy. Ja jako osoba z Giełkotem będę pracować nad tym, żeby ten ogólny obraz komunikacji jakby zbliżać się do niego i ci, którzy będą ze mną w komunikacji, muszą podjąć też trud, żeby ten mój sposób mówienia w jakiś sposób też akceptować. Ta krawędź i granica będzie chyba najlepszym spotkaniem w komunikacji.
I think it's very important. I have had so many people coming in my office thinking they were stuttering. So if you have someone coming into your clinic or your office telling you, I am stuttering, I'm having problems, you should look a bit deeper into the matter and not just assume, okay, I am hearing repetitions, I am hearing some stuttering-like things, so I'm sure this is stuttering. You have to look a bit deeper into it because I have seen so many people that have had so many therapies that were not working and that influenced them and their lives in a way we could avoid when we look deeper into the matter and consider if it is stuttering or cluttering or maybe a mix or maybe something completely different. I am feeling that Susanne Cook was right in the beginning, that we are one big family, and I found out that we are very like-minded.
I think what I would most wish for speech therapists and students of speech therapy to learn about cluttering is to be open, to understand that we don't know everything. There's a lot we're learning, and to be open to keep learning new information all the time, no matter how long you've been a speech therapist. What I think about this conference is that it is a fabulous meeting of people who are passionate about cluttering, and that is so exciting to me, and I feel like everyone else has already expressed that it's like coming home to your cluttering family, no matter where you are in the world.
It's important to look at all the domains of cluttering. And some of the domains are related to speech-language pathology, but some are related to other professions or other contexts. And the fastness is not only in the speech, that's what we hear, but there's so much more around cluttering people than only the fast rate of speech. For me, it's essential for people to understand that cluttering is a condition, and the condition can affect people in multiple ways, in their speech, in their professional life, in their family conditions, in their relationships, etc. And there's a good and there's a bad in cluttering. I think that's the most important. In order for other people to understand cluttering, we should talk about it as much as possible and show videos and show audio recordings of cluttering so that people get used to the sound of it. And not only when there's a problem, but just in the bus and in schools or whatever, talk about cluttering and don't talk about it as a bad thing, talk about it as a condition. That's it, a condition. I like the people, I like the family feeling in the conference. Some of the presentations I was a little bit annoyed that to hear that people don't have access to all the knowledge we have about cluttering. So I don't blame the people, but it's like we need to share the knowledge about cluttering within the community, and we need to ask for it. If you don't understand, ask in the community if other people have answers or materials or whatever.
Ogromne gratulacje dla organizatorów. Po pierwsze za niezwykły wysiłek, jaki włożyli w przygotowanie, w zaproszenie również niezwykłych osób, które się spotkały, tworząc tę rodzinę związaną z Giełkotem, bo to jest jednak sztuka, żeby w tym samym czasie, w tym samym miejscu, w ten sam weekend ludzi z 16 różnych krajów zaprosić w jedno miejsce do Katowic, więc bardzo serdecznie gratuluję. A dla mnie to była ogromna przyjemność móc spotkać tych, których czasami widzieliśmy jeszcze tylko w okienku albo na zdjęciach, bo nie można się było spotykać twarzą w twarz. Ale to, co jest najfajniejsze, to chyba to, co mówiła Suzy na początku, że ta rodzina się powiększa i że w rodzinie jesteśmy w stanie się czasami nawet nie zgadzać, a może mieć różne poglądy, a może właśnie fajnie jest skonfrontować te pomysły na temat diagnozy, terapii Giełkotu na takiej konferencji, która daje przestrzeń do dyskusji. Więc jeszcze raz ogromne gratulacje i piękne podziękowania.